a big blue loop to match your tickets, under that hill over there. Basically, that's where we're going to be most of the time. We'll be under the valley just a little bit. After the tour, if you want to see the natural entrance, it's on the other side of the visitor center, and I'll talk more about that later today. You won't get to see the original entrance that you won't be able to see after the tour if you want. And the hole was glowing out so terrifically forcefully that when one of the brothers looked into the hole to see what's going on, his hat flew off his head. So they went back to Hot Springs and got some friends of theirs. A couple days later came back, and one of the brothers held his hat over the hole, and guess what happened? You saw the movie,
No,
right?
no.
Yeah. Okay, it did suck it, and they never found that hat ever again. I don't know where it is. It's in the cave or wherever. But that's how Wind Cave got its name. What year was that? That was 1881.
Yeah, it goes up a long way.
Give you a little perspective.
Organic layer cake. Wind Cave is actually situated in a unit of limestone that is about 300 feet tall, top to bottom. So that's a lot of sea floors, a lot of limestone. At this point in time, we are in the middle level of the cave, that limestone, middle level of the cave. And that is where most of this beautiful box are. Of course, the water table has gone way down again, so you don't see any water. Unlike a lot of caves, again, like Mammoth Cave or some other caves, they were never formed by underground rivers, ever. It was always like an underground lake. And you can see the evidence here. If it was formed by a river, would the walls look like that? Yeah, they would be all smooth. And you wouldn't have passageways that are above us and below us and these high fractures and things like that. I mean, there's so much evidence that this was never formed by a river. All right, now I know you're dying to know how this formed, but we will talk about that a little bit later because now you can think about it if you like. Actually, I'll give you one clue. The acid was evaporated. As it evaporated, when it hit the ceiling, it condensed. So now you have carbonic acid on the ceiling, and of course gravity is pulling that stuff down, and as it comes down, it is also smoothing out. The two gentlemen in 1881 never really discovered the cave. Anybody know who found Wind Cave? First people to know about it? The Indians, Native Americans knew about it for thousands and thousands of years. And it was, at least that opening there, was and still is, because they've fallen out of the ceiling. They used to be smashed up against the ceiling. Cave popcorn covered with frost work. And this is all a calcite formation. Well, there is water getting in the cave, but you just can't see it, but there's a lot. When the carbonic acid seeps through the soil, it's still coming down. When there's not so much that you have this big lake here, but just enough for it to go through the limestone is filled with calcium because it came from those seashells of so long ago. And the carbonic acid has the ability to go through the pores of the limestone. It picks up the calcium in the rock. It carries that calcium until it gets to the surface. At that point, the carbonic acid separates. It goes back to its original parts. The carbon dioxide degasses. The water either evaporates or drips, and it leaves behind the formations that you see.
Now, about Alvin, because he really he's probably one of the most well-known figures here at Wind Cave. He lived, like I said, about 120 years ago. Alvin didn't explore the cave for very long. Unfortunately, he didn't live very long, actually. He died at the age of 20. Unfortunately, he went to the World's Fair back in 1893, and he wanted to tell everybody about this beautiful place. And actually, we think that this may be why it's called the fairgrounds, because he was going to the fair. But he came back with typhoid fever because he drank bad water or ate something that had bad water in it. And he came back, and he may have survived, but instead of going to bed like a good kid, get better, guess what he did? he went caving. And on top of having typhoid, he got pneumonia, and that his body just couldn't take it. So at the young age of 20, poor Alvin died. But he did, his legacy lives on, like everybody talks about him just about on all the cave tours. He left behind this wonderful journal with absolutely incredible stories of all the things he did in the cave. And but also it's a good picture into the life of a teenager in the late 18th